10 life lessons I learned. Too late, that I still regret all these years later. Stoicism. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca. How often have we found ourselves drowning in regret, wishing we had known better, acted wiser, or simply paid more attention to the things that truly matter? Life doesn't come with a manual, but the lessons it teaches us, often too late, shape who we become. Today, on Stoic in Your Life. I'm sharing the crucial life lessons I wish I had learned earlier, lessons that would have spared me years of regret and anguish. These are not just my stories, but the hard-won wisdom that Stoicism offers us all. The truth is, life is fleeting. We are often too distracted by the opinions of others, chasing validation that means nothing in the grand scheme of things. We let emotions drive our decisions, only to realize too late that the mind should have been in control. In this video, we'll dive deep into these lessons, exploring how understanding them through the lens of Stoicism can help you live a life free of regret, more in control, and deeply fulfilling. Stick around, because this might just change how you see your own journey. 1. Self-Reliance and Independence. Picture this. You're standing at the crossroads of your life, where every path you could take leads to a different outcome. At that moment, do you rely on the voices around you, or do you trust the voice within? One of the most powerful lessons I've learned over the years, though I wish I had understood it sooner, is the importance of self-reliance and independence. Now, you might think that independence is about being alone or doing everything by yourself, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's about knowing that you can stand on your own 2 feet, that your value is not dependent on the validation of others, and that your journey is yours to navigate. In a world where everyone seems to have an opinion about what you should do, who you should be, or how you should live your life, it's easy to lose sight of your own voice. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This speaks to the heart of self-reliance, understanding that true freedom comes from within, from being in control of your own mind, your decisions, and ultimately, your life. When you rely on others for validation, you become a prisoner to their expectations, and in doing so, you lose a part of yourself. But when you trust in your own instincts, you not only build confidence, but also a deeper understanding of who you are and what you stand for. Think about it. How often have you held back from pursuing a dream, a goal, or even a simple desire because you were worried about what others might think? How many times have you dimmed your light to make others feel comfortable, or worse, to avoid the fear of failure? The truth is, not everyone will support your success. Some may even want to see you fail. This is not a reflection of your worth, but rather of their insecurities. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wisely noted, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." This is a reminder that the only opinion that truly matters is your own, especially when it comes to your life's direction. Now, this doesn't mean you should ignore feedback or refuse help when needed. Stoicism teaches us the balance of community and independence. It's about being open to learning from others, but discerning enough to know when to follow your path. As Seneca put it, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." Being self-reliant means cultivating an inner strength that is unshakable, regardless of the challenges or the voices around you. It's about having a solid sense of self that isn't easily swayed by external circumstances or the opinions of others. I'll be honest, this is easier said than done. It's a lesson that took me years to learn, and one I wish I had embraced earlier. I spent too much time worrying about pleasing others, trying to fit into molds that were never meant for me, and seeking approval from people who didn't understand my journey. But over time, I realized that true contentment doesn't come from external validation. It comes from inner peace and self-acceptance. It comes from knowing that you are enough just as you are, and that your worth is not determined by others but by your own self-respect and love. Consider this. What would happen if you stopped worrying about others' opinions and started focusing on what you truly want? What if you gave yourself permission to fail, knowing that every failure is a step closer to success? And what if you started trusting that inner voice that's been guiding you all along? The path to self-reliance begins with small steps, by setting boundaries, by saying no when something doesn't serve you, and by taking ownership of your decisions. It's about understanding that you are the architect of your life, and while others may offer advice or opinions, the final blueprint is yours to design. We live in a society that often glorifies conformity, where fitting in is sometimes valued more than standing out. But the truth is, the people who make a difference, who live fulfilling lives, are those who dare to be different, who are courageous enough to be themselves even when it's difficult. Ralph Waldo Emerson, a philosopher heavily influenced by Stoicism, captured this sentiment perfectly when he wrote, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." This is the essence of self-reliance, being true to yourself, no matter the pressure to conform. So, how do we cultivate this sense of independence and self-trust? It starts with mindfulness, being aware of when you're seeking approval or when you're doubting yourself because of others' opinions. Practice tuning out the noise and tuning into your inner wisdom. Reflect on your values, your beliefs, and what truly matters to you. Are you living in alignment with these values, or are you compromising them to please others? Remember, you don't need to have all the answers right away. Self-reliance is a journey, one that requires patience, perseverance, and a lot of self-compassion. Another key aspect is to embrace solitude. Now, I'm not suggesting you become a hermit, but rather that you find comfort in your own company. Spend time alone to reflect, to understand your thoughts and feelings without the influence of others. Solitude allows you to connect with yourself on a deeper level and to build a stronger sense of self. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca advised, retire into yourself as much as you can. This is not about isolating yourself from the world, but rather about finding peace within yourself, so you can engage with the world from a place of strength and clarity. Finally, take action. Self-reliance is not just a mindset, it's a practice. It's about making decisions that are true to you, even when they're difficult or unpopular. It's about taking responsibility for your life and understanding that while you can't control everything, you can control how you respond. And in that response, there is power. As you continue on this journey, ask yourself, what steps can I take today to become more self-reliant? How can I cultivate a deeper trust in myself? And most importantly, how can I live in a way that honors who I truly am? As we conclude this reflection, I want to leave you with one final thought. You are stronger, wiser, and more capable than you often give yourself credit for. The path to self-reliance is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Embrace your independence, trust your instincts, and remember, you have everything you need within you to live a life of purpose, fulfillment, and true freedom. 2. Relationships and social interactions. There's a moment in every man's life when he looks back and realizes that some of the most significant lessons he's learned came from the hard knocks of experience. Relationships and social interactions in particular are areas where the most profound wisdom often comes too late. These lessons are the ones that can sting the most because they often involve the people we allowed into our lives, the friends we trusted, the partners we loved, and the social circles we embraced. Yet if there's one thing I've learned through the years, it's that being cautious in relationships isn't just about avoiding pain. It's about preserving your peace, protecting your energy, and ultimately safeguarding your soul. Let's be honest. How many times have we found ourselves in the company of people who, instead of lifting us up, seemed intent on dragging us down? It's a harsh truth, but not everyone we meet has our best interests at heart. Some people are like shadows. They follow you in the sunshine, but disappear when the darkness falls. And it's in those dark moments, those tough times, that the true nature of your relationships is revealed. This is why it's crucial to choose your friends wisely, and to be deliberate about who you allow into your inner circle. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This wisdom applies profoundly to our social interactions. We can't always control who comes into our lives, but we can control who stays. Life is too short to waste time on people who drain your energy or make you feel less than you are. These toxic relationships act like anchors, weighing you down, preventing you from reaching your true potential. The key to navigating the complexities of relationships is discernment, knowing when to hold on and when to let go. One of the biggest mistakes I've made, and one that many men can relate to, is confusing quantity with quality when it comes to friendships. We often feel the pressure to surround ourselves with many people, mistaking a large social network for a strong one. But as we grow older, it becomes clear that the real value lies not in how many friends we have, but in the depth and authenticity of those friendships. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, captured this beautifully when he said, "One loyal friend is worth 10,000 relatives." In today's world, where social media can create an illusion of connection, this lesson is more relevant than ever. It's easy to be swayed by the number of likes, comments, or followers, but these are not the metrics that truly matter. What counts are those few relationships where trust, respect, and mutual support are the foundation. Think about your own life. How many people can you truly count on when the chips are down? How many relationships are based on genuine connection rather than convenience? These are tough questions, but they are necessary if we are to cultivate meaningful social interactions. A wise man knows that it's better to have a handful of true friends than 100 acquaintances who wouldn't notice if you disappeared from their lives tomorrow. This wisdom calls for a deliberate approach to relationships, choosing quality over quantity, substance over surface. Moreover, the company you keep has a profound impact on your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your life. The people around you can either inspire you to be better, or they can drag you into negativity, complacency, and mediocrity. Jim Rohn, a modern-day philosopher, famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." This statement rings true in every aspect of life, from your career to your personal growth. If you surround yourself with people who challenge you, who push you to be your best, you're likely to rise to the occasion. But if you keep company with those who are content with stagnation, you might find yourself held back by the same limitations. In the realm of Stoicism, there's a concept called sympathia, which refers to the interconnectedness of all things. This idea suggests that we are all part of a larger whole, and that our actions, thoughts, and relationships are not isolated, but intertwined. Therefore, the people you allow into your life don't just affect you. They influence the larger fabric of your existence. They shape your experiences, your worldview, and your journey through life. This is why it's essential to be mindful of who you associate with. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and the quality of your thoughts is often a reflection of the company you keep. However, caution in relationships doesn't mean closing yourself off from the world. It means being selective, not just in choosing who you let in, but also in how you interact with others. It's about setting boundaries, saying no when necessary, and understanding that it's okay to walk away from relationships that no longer serve you. Too often we stay in unhealthy relationships out of a sense of obligation, fear of loneliness, or simply because it's easier than facing the discomfort of change. But true strength lies in recognizing when a relationship has run its course and having the courage to let it go. In today's fast-paced, digitally connected world, where relationships can be as fleeting as a text message, it's more important than ever to invest in the right ones. Building meaningful connections takes time, effort, and vulnerability. It requires us to be authentic, to show up as our true selves, and to be willing to give as much as we hope to receive. But when we do this, when we surround ourselves with people who genuinely care about us, who want to see us succeed, and who share our values, we create a support system that enriches our lives in immeasurable ways. So, as you navigate the complexities of relationships and social interactions, remember this: be cautious, but not closed off. Be discerning, but not distrustful. Value quality over quantity, And always prioritize your peace of mind. The people you choose to walk with on this journey of life can either be a source of strength or a drain on your spirit. Choose wisely because, at the end of the day, your social circle is not just a reflection of who you are. It is also a reflection of who you will become. As you continue to learn and grow, ask yourself, are the people in your life helping you become the man you aspire to be, or are they holding you back? This is one of the most critical questions you can ask, and the answer can guide you towards relationships that truly matter and away from those that don't. 3. Life management and priorities. Life, with all its twists and turns, often catches us off guard. We find ourselves amidst challenges we didn't foresee, trials that test our patience, and situations that demand more of us than we feel we can give. I learned this the hard way, far too late in life, and it's a lesson I wish I had understood earlier. You see, we're all on this journey of life management, trying to balance our time, priorities, and responsibilities. But how often do we pause and truly reflect on what we're doing? Are we managing our lives, or are our lives managing us? In the rush of daily life, it's easy to get swept up in the demands of work, family, and social obligations. We pour our energy into meeting deadlines, fulfilling expectations, and striving to be everything for everyone. But where does that leave us? Often, we're left exhausted, stretched thin, and wondering why happiness feels so elusive. The Stoic philosophers, who have guided me through many of life's storms, remind us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we cannot. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Yet putting this into practice is a challenge in itself. Let me share a story from my own life, something that might resonate with you. I was in my mid-30s, climbing the corporate ladder with all the ambition in the world. Success, or at least what I thought was success, was my primary goal. I worked late into the night, skipped family gatherings, and even missed out on moments with my young children, all in the name of providing for them and securing a better future. But here's the irony. In my pursuit of this so-called success, I was sacrificing the very things that truly mattered: time with loved ones, personal growth, and my own happiness. One day, I received a call that changed everything. A close friend, someone I hadn't seen in months due to my busy schedule, had passed away suddenly. There were no goodbyes, no final conversations, just the harsh reality that life is fragile and unpredictable. That's when it hit me. I had been focusing on all the wrong things. I had been managing my life based on societal expectations and external pressures, rather than my own values and what truly brought me joy. This is where the wisdom of the Stoics becomes invaluable. They teach us that life is full of events beyond our control, whether it's the actions of others, the outcome of our efforts, or even our health. But within this chaotic world, there's one thing we can always control: our response. We can choose how we react to challenges, how we allocate our time, and what we prioritize. The Stoic Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This quote became my guiding light as I began to reassess my life. I started by setting boundaries at work. No longer would I let my job consume me. I would leave the office at a reasonable hour, regardless of unfinished tasks. I reconnected with my family, made time for meaningful conversations, and rekindle old friendships. I also began to invest in my personal growth, reading, meditating, and practicing mindfulness. These small changes had a profound impact on my well-being. I was no longer running on empty. I was replenishing my soul. But there's another aspect to life management that often goes overlooked: the balance between helping others and taking care of ourselves. Many of us fall into the trap of prioritizing others' needs over our own, believing it's the noble thing to do. We say yes to every request, offer our support at the expense of our own peace, and put others' comfort ahead of our happiness. While it's important to be compassionate and generous, it's equally crucial to recognize our limits. The Stoics emphasize the importance of self-care, not out of selfishness, but because we can only give our best to others when we're at our best ourselves. Consider this. When was the last time you said no to something that drained you? When was the last time you put your own needs first without feeling guilty? It's a difficult shift to make, especially in a culture that often glorifies self-sacrifice. But I can tell you from experience that learning to prioritize your own well-being is one of the most liberating and empowering decisions you can make. It's not about neglecting others. It's about finding a balance where you can contribute to the world without depleting yourself. And then there's the matter of letting go, another lesson I learned far too late. We hold on to so much in life, grudges, regrets, fears, and the illusion of control. We believe that if we just try harder, work longer, or push through, we can bend life to our will. But this is a recipe for frustration and disappointment. The Stoics teach us to accept life's uncertainties with grace, to embrace the flow of events without resistance. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." These words remind us that true strength comes not from controlling everything around us, but from mastering our inner world. So what can you take away from all of this? First, recognize that life management is not about juggling more balls or adding more to your plate. It's about making deliberate choices about where you invest your time and energy. It's about focusing on what you can control, your actions, your responses, your priorities, and letting go of what you cannot. Second, remember that balance is key. Don't sacrifice your happiness or personal growth for the comfort of others. And finally, let go of the need to control everything. Embrace the unpredictability of life with an open heart, knowing that you have the inner strength to handle whatever comes your way. As you go forward, ask yourself, are you living according to your values, or are you simply reacting to life's demands? Are you managing your life, or is it managing you? These questions may not have easy answers, but they're worth pondering, because at the end of the day, the choices you make today will shape the life you live tomorrow. The Stoics understood this, and so can we. It's never too late to learn these lessons, to adjust our course, and to find a way of living that brings us true fulfillment. So take a moment, reflect on your life, and ask yourself, what can you change today to live more in line with your true self? 4. Personal growth and self-improvement. Have you ever found yourself looking back on certain moments in life, wishing you could reach through time and offer your younger self a bit of advice? If only you could whisper into their ear, guiding them away from pitfalls and helping them realize the importance of some of the lessons you now hold so dear. One of those lessons that often comes too late is the immense value of personal growth and self-improvement. Life, as we all know, doesn't come with an instruction manual, and sometimes it feels like we learn the most critical lessons only after we've made the mistakes, long after the consequences have had their way with us. But what if you could start today, right now, to focus on improving yourself, to turn your gaze inward and see where the true work needs to be done? Think about solitude, not as a lonely place, but as a sanctuary, a time carved out just for you to engage in deep reflection and self-discovery. How often do you sit in stillness, allowing yourself to truly think, to consider who you are and who you want to be? The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Solitude offers you the chance to become that master, to gain control over your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. In these quiet moments, you begin to uncover the layers of yourself, peeling them back one by one to reveal the core of your being. It is in this solitude that you find clarity, a clear path toward the person you are striving to become. This is not an easy process. It requires patience and perseverance, virtues that are often overshadowed by the hustle and bustle of daily life, but are absolutely essential for overcoming the obstacles that life inevitably throws your way. Now, let's be honest. How many times have you allowed a past mistake to haunt you? How often have you replayed that one moment in your mind, wishing you could change it, letting it define your future actions and decisions? It's all too easy to become trapped in the regret of past failures, to let them anchor you to a place of stagnation. But consider this. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, reminded us that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Instead of allowing your mistakes to hold you back, what if you viewed them as stepping stones on your path to personal growth? Each misstep, each wrong turn, is a lesson in disguise, an opportunity to learn, adapt, and move forward with greater wisdom. Self-improvement is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about waking up every day with the intention of being better than you were yesterday. This doesn't mean you won't fail. In fact, failure is a crucial part of the journey. The key is to not let those failures define you. Remember, it's not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. And with each rise, you become stronger, more resilient, more capable of handling whatever comes your way. So, ask yourself, what can you do today, no matter how small, to improve yourself? What habit can you start to cultivate? What negative thought pattern can you begin to challenge? As you embark on this journey of self-improvement, don't forget the importance of patience. In today's world, where instant gratification is the norm, it's easy to get discouraged when results don't appear overnight. But real, lasting change takes time. The philosopher Seneca wisely noted, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Your dedication to self-improvement is the preparation, and in time, the opportunities you seek will arise. The seeds you plant today in solitude and self-reflection will, with patience and perseverance, grow into the strong, unshakable trees of wisdom and character. What's more, personal growth isn't just about you. As you grow and improve, you become a beacon of light for others. Your progress inspires those around you to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and improvement. Think about the people in your life who have motivated you to be better. What was it about them that sparked that desire in you? Their patience, their perseverance, their refusal to be defined by their past. These are the qualities that have likely inspired you, and these are the same qualities you can cultivate to inspire others. However, this process is not a straight line. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when you feel like giving up. But it's in these moments that you must remember the teachings of the Stoics. Life is not about avoiding hardship, but about how you face it. Each challenge is an opportunity to test your resolve, to strengthen your character, and to move closer to the person you aspire to be. As the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius put it, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The path to personal growth is not easy, but it is always worth it. So I ask you, what will you do with the lessons you've learned too late? Will you let them define you, or will you use them as fuel to propel you forward? The choice is yours, and it's a choice you must make every single day. Will you embrace solitude and reflection, cultivating the patience and perseverance needed to overcome life's obstacles? Will you work on bettering yourself, not letting past mistakes weigh you down, but instead seeing them as stepping stones on your path to growth? Remember, the journey of self-improvement is a lifelong one, but every step you take brings you closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. The greatest regret is not the mistakes we've made, but the lessons we failed to learn from them. So, take a moment now, in the solitude of your thoughts, and ask yourself, what lesson have I been resisting? What step towards self-improvement have I been avoiding? The time to start is now, and the only person who can walk this path is you. Thank you for being in today's video and taking the time to listen and reflect on the life lessons I learned too late, but still regret to this day. Have you ever had moments in your life that you wish you could change or do differently? What lessons did you learn too late but still have great value to you? If you don't know where to start, you can share a personal experience that you regret, or simply share your thoughts on the lessons I shared in this video. 5. Financial responsibility. In the quiet moments when you reflect on your life, Have you ever found yourself haunted by regrets over the choices you made, or perhaps didn't make, especially when it comes to your finances? Many men, as they age, realize too late the true weight of financial responsibility. It's not just about the dollars and cents, but about the security, freedom, and peace of mind that responsible financial management can bring. Let's delve into this crucial lesson, one that many wish they had learned sooner, but it's never too late to start mastering it now. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool." Understanding this can shape your future in ways you may not yet realize. Financial responsibility is not merely about counting pennies. It's about crafting a life where money serves you, rather than you being enslaved by it. As you navigate the peaks and valleys of life, the importance of saving money cannot be overstated. Savings are not just for rainy days, but act as the foundation of your financial stability, the cushion that allows you to breathe easy when the unexpected happens. Many men, as they reach their later years, look back and wish they had been more diligent in this aspect. The folly of youth often leads us to believe that tomorrow will take care of itself. But the truth is, tomorrow is shaped by the choices you make today. By saving consistently, even in small amounts, you build a fortress of security that guards against the storms of life. Avoiding unnecessary debts is another pillar of financial wisdom that often goes unheeded in younger years. The allure of living beyond one's means, fueled by easy credit, can be tempting. But debt is a double-edged sword, one that can swiftly turn into a burden too heavy to bear. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, reminds us, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." This applies to how we manage our finances as well. The desire for more gadgets, more luxury, more status, can lead us down a path of financial ruin. It's crucial to recognize that true wealth doesn't lie in material possessions, but in the freedom that comes from being debt-free. Investing in your future is not just about stock portfolios or retirement plans. It's about making wise decisions that will pay off in the long run. Whether it's investing in your education, your health, or your relationships, every choice you make today shapes the life you'll live tomorrow. The earlier you start thinking about the future, the more prepared you'll be to face it. This concept is powerfully echoed in the words of Epictetus, who said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." When you focus on what truly matters, you invest in a future where financial stability allows you to live life on your terms, free from the anxiety of financial uncertainty. Financial stability is the bedrock of long-term peace of mind and personal freedom. It's the difference between being able to retire with dignity or facing the stress of working well into your old age. It's the freedom to make life choices not based on desperation but on desire. Many men only come to realize this truth when they're already deep into their careers, with the weight of family responsibilities and a lifestyle to maintain. But imagine if you could go back in time and teach your younger self this vital lesson. What would your life look like now? The wisdom of Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and that includes how we manage our finances. It's never too late to take charge of your financial future. The Stoic approach to financial responsibility also involves understanding the impermanence of wealth. As the philosopher Seneca noted, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Financial responsibility, therefore, is not just about accumulating wealth, but about cultivating a mindset of contentment and moderation. This doesn't mean you shouldn't aspire to improve your financial situation, but rather that you should do so with the right intentions, seeking security and freedom, rather than luxury for its own sake. This mindset will not only help you manage your finances better, but will also bring a sense of peace and fulfillment that money alone cannot provide. In today's fast-paced world, where consumerism is king, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that happiness can be bought. Advertisements bombard us with messages that equate material success with personal worth. However, The Stoic philosophy reminds us that true wealth is found in self-discipline and the wise management of our resources. By practicing financial responsibility, you're not just securing your future, you're also cultivating virtues like prudence, temperance, and wisdom. These are the real treasures that will sustain you and sustain you throughout your life. As you move forward, let this lesson be a guiding principle in all your financial decisions. Reflect on what you truly need versus what you merely want. Prioritize saving and investing in your future over immediate gratification. Avoid the pitfalls of debt by living within your means. And most importantly, cultivate a mindset of contentment and gratitude for what you have. By doing so, you will not only achieve financial stability, but also the personal freedom and peace of mind that come with it. Financial responsibility is not just a practical necessity, but a philosophical discipline that aligns with the Stoic ideals of self-control, foresight, and inner peace. As you continue to learn and grow, remember that it's never too late to start making wise financial choices. The regrets of the past can serve as powerful lessons for the future, guiding you toward a life of greater security and freedom. Embrace this lesson now, and you'll find that the peace of mind you've been seeking has been within your grasp all along. 6. Handling adversity and challenges. When you face adversity, it often feels like the world is testing you in ways you're not prepared for. These challenges can hit hard, knocking you off balance and leaving you questioning everything you thought you knew. But what if I told you that these very moments of struggle are some of the most valuable experiences you'll ever have? The ancient Stoics understood this deeply, and their teachings are a powerful reminder that life's hardships are not just random events meant to break us. They are opportunities for growth, resilience, and transformation. Think about the times when you've been at your lowest. Maybe you lost a job, went through a tough breakup, or faced a serious illness. In those moments, it's easy to fall into despair, to feel like the universe is unfairly singling you out for suffering. But here's where the Stoic wisdom comes in. The adversity you face is not a curse. It's a challenge, a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The Stoics believed that we should embrace these challenges, not run from them. By facing them head-on, we learn more about ourselves, discover strengths we never knew we had, and develop the fortitude to tackle whatever comes next. One of the hardest things about adversity is the uncertainty it brings. When you're in the middle of a storm, it's hard to see beyond the chaos. You might wonder if things will ever get better, or if you'll ever find your way out of the darkness. This is where the Stoic principle of amor fati, the love of fate, can be incredibly powerful. Rather than resisting or resenting what happens to us, the Stoics teach us to accept and even love our fate, no matter how difficult it may be. This doesn't mean passively accepting whatever comes your way without trying to improve your situation, but rather recognizing that every experience, good or bad, is an integral part of your life's journey. It's about finding meaning in adversity and understanding that every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow. Let's bring this idea into a modern context. Imagine you're a young professional who's just been passed over for a promotion you worked incredibly hard for. It's easy to feel defeated, to think that all your efforts were for nothing, and to let that setback define you. But what if, instead of giving in to those negative emotions, you decided to approach this situation like a Stoic? You could take a step back and ask yourself what you can learn from this experience. Maybe it's an opportunity to develop new skills, to seek feedback, and to come back stronger next time. Perhaps this setback is pushing you to reassess your career path, guiding you towards something that's a better fit for your talents and passions. By seeing the challenge as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, you're not just enduring adversity, you're using it as fuel for your growth and success. This mindset shift is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond, and it's in our response to adversity that our true character is revealed. When faced with difficulties, we have a choice. We can either let them defeat us, or we can use them as opportunities to build our resilience. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. This quote encapsulates the idea that adversity is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced as a crucial part of our personal development. Think about a time when you faced a significant challenge and came out the other side stronger. Maybe it was a period of financial hardship that forced you to become more resourceful and disciplined. Or perhaps it was a health scare that prompted you to take better care of yourself and appreciate life's simple joys. Whatever it was, that experience likely taught you something valuable about yourself and your capacity to overcome obstacles. Now, imagine if you had faced that challenge with a stoic mindset from the start, embracing the difficulty, seeking out the lessons, and using it as a springboard for personal growth. How might that have changed your experience? As you reflect on the challenges you've faced, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this adversity to become a better version of myself? By asking these questions, you're not just passively accepting your fate. You're actively engaging with it, turning every hardship into an opportunity for growth. This is the essence of Stoic resilience, not just surviving adversity, but thriving because of it. In today's fast-paced, often unpredictable world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the challenges that come your way. But by adopting a Stoic approach to adversity, you can shift your perspective and find strength in even the most difficult situations. Instead of seeing challenges as insurmountable obstacles, you can view them as opportunities to test your resilience, sharpen your skills, and grow as a person. Every setback is a chance to practice patience, every hardship an opportunity to cultivate courage, and every disappointment a lesson in humility. So the next time life throws a curveball your way, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Don't shy away from the challenge, embrace it, learn from it, and most importantly, use it as a stepping stone to a better, stronger, more resilient you. After all, as the Stoics teach us, adversity is not just something to be endured, it's something to be welcomed as a vital part of our journey towards becoming our best selves. What challenges are you facing right now, and how can you use them to grow? By asking yourself this question, you're already on the path to turning adversity into an opportunity for personal transformation. 7. Health and well-being. Your health is your most valuable asset, a truth that often eludes us until it's too late. I learned this the hard way, and it's one of the life lessons that continues to weigh heavily on my heart. Think about the days and weeks spent chasing deadlines, the endless hours hunched over a desk, fueled by caffeine and adrenaline, sacrificing sleep and mental peace, all in the name of productivity. It seems noble, doesn't it? To push yourself beyond your limits, to prioritize your career or ambitions over everything else. But at what cost? What happens when the very foundation of your existence, your health, starts to crumble? Have you ever stopped to think about that? The ancient Stoics taught us that the body and mind are intertwined, and that neglecting one inevitably harms the other. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." How often do we waste our lives chasing after things that, in the grand scheme of things, mean very little? We sacrifice our health for success, for wealth, for recognition, thinking that these will bring us happiness. But what use is success when you're too ill to enjoy it? What good is wealth if it comes at the expense of your peace of mind? What is the point of recognition if it leaves you feeling hollow inside? These are questions I wish I had asked myself sooner. But like so many, I was blinded by the allure of worldly achievements. Stress is a silent killer, creeping into your life and taking root in your body in ways you don't even realize. It's not just the obvious headaches or sleepless nights, it's the subtle, persistent wear and tear on your body and mind. Chronic stress weakens your immune system, raises your blood pressure, and increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, and even mental health disorders like anxiety and depression. Yet, we often dismiss it, telling ourselves that it's just a part of life, that we'll deal with it later, that it's a sign of strength to endure it without complaint. But why do we see self-neglect as a badge of honor? Why do we wait until our bodies are screaming for help before we listen? Prioritizing your well-being isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, reminded us in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The power of your mind is immense, but it can only be harnessed if you take care of it, if you allow it the rest and nourishment it needs to function at its best. Your body is the vessel that carries you through life. Without it, your mind's potential is meaningless. Have you ever considered how much more you could achieve if you were operating at your best, both mentally and physically? Have you thought about the quality of your work and your relationships when you are healthy and happy versus when you are exhausted and stressed? Maintaining a healthy balance between work and life isn't just about time management, it's about values. What do you truly value in life? Is it the recognition you get from your boss, the numbers in your bank account? Or is it the moments of peace you find in a morning walk, the joy in spending time with loved ones, the satisfaction of a body well cared for? Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, taught that we should focus on what is within our control. Your health is largely within your control. You may not be able to avoid every illness or every stressor, but you can control how you respond to them, how you care for yourself in the face of them. Are you doing everything within your power to protect and nurture your health? Or are you allowing the pressures of life to dictate your well-being? Think about the habits you've formed over the years. Are they serving you, or are they slowly eroding your health? Do you exercise regularly, eat nutritious foods, and get enough sleep? Or do you rely on quick fixes like caffeine and sugar to get you through the day, skipping meals, and pulling all-nighters because you think you can't afford to slow down? You can't pour from an empty cup, as the saying goes. How can you expect to give your best to your work, your family, or your passions if you're running on fumes? How can you enjoy the fruits of your labor if your health is deteriorating? In today's fast-paced world, the idea of slowing down, of taking time for self-care, can feel counterproductive, even selfish. But is it really? Or is it an investment in your future, in your ability to live a long, fulfilling life? The Stoics believed in the concept of memento mori, a reminder that we are mortal and that our time is limited. How do you want to spend that time? Constantly stressed and on the brink of burnout, or healthy, content, and able to enjoy the simple pleasures of life? I regret not realizing this sooner, not making my health a priority from the start. The price I paid was high. Years of unnecessary stress, health issues that could have been avoided, and precious moments lost to exhaustion and illness. But I've learned that it's never too late to change, to start taking better care of yourself, to prioritize what truly matters. So, I ask you, what are you doing today to protect your most valuable asset? How are you ensuring that your body and mind are in the best possible shape to carry you through the challenges and joys of life? The choice is yours, but remember, the consequences of neglecting your health are inevitable. It's up to you to decide whether you'll face them with regret or with the peace of mind that comes from knowing you've done everything in your power to live well. If you've made it this far, you're truly committed to growth and reflection. Drop a comment saying, "I've learned and grown," to show you're embracing these life lessons and moving forward with wisdom. Stay tuned, there's so much more ahead. 8. Time management and life planning. Have you ever found yourself staring into the mirror, the echoes of missed opportunities and lost time ringing in your ears? Time is the one currency we all spend, yet so many of us are left bankrupt, only realizing too late that we've squandered it on distractions and fleeting desires. In a world that never stops, where the days blur into each other, we often forget that our most valuable resource is not money, fame, or possessions, but time itself. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Let's explore how we can reclaim our time and live with intention, so we don't end up regretting the life we never lived. Time is an unforgiving master, ticking away relentlessly, whether we acknowledge it or not. Yet so many of us wander through life without a clear direction, distracted by the noise of the present moment, forgetting that each second spent is a step closer to our inevitable end. The Stoics, wise as they were, understood this deeply. They taught that time is not just a resource, but the most precious one we have, and how we manage it determines the quality of our lives. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them, advised Marcus Aurelius, reminding us to align our lives with the larger purpose of existence rather than getting lost in the trivialities of the day-to-day. When we talk about time management, it's more than just a practical skill. It's a philosophy. It's about planning, not just for the immediate future, but for the entirety of our lives. This requires a focus on long-term goals, those objectives that, when achieved, will leave us with a sense of fulfillment and contentment. However, in the rush of modern life, it's easy to get sidetracked by short-term desires, instant gratification that promises quick pleasure but delivers little of lasting value. Whether it's the allure of social media, the temptation to spend money on things we don't need, or the desire to indulge in activities that don't contribute to our growth, these distractions pull us away from what truly matters. We must remember the Stoic principle of living according to nature, which in today's terms means living in harmony with our true selves, our values, and our goals. To do this, we need to invest in our personal development continually. This isn't about following the latest self-help trend or achieving success as defined by others, but about nurturing our minds, bodies, and spirits in ways that align with our purpose. It's about making decisions today that our future selves will thank us for, decisions that lead to a life well lived. No man is free who is not master of himself, Epictetus reminds us, highlighting the importance of self-discipline in time management and life planning. But how do we focus on these long-term goals amidst the chaos of modern life? The first step is to identify what truly matters to us. What are the values that we want to guide our lives? What are the goals that, when we reach the end of our lives, we will be proud to have achieved? These are not easy questions to answer, and they require deep introspection. However, once we have clarity on our purpose, the next step is to break down these long-term goals into smaller, manageable tasks. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when thinking about the big picture, but by taking consistent small steps every day, we can make progress without losing sight of the end goal. Another crucial aspect of effective time management is learning to say no. Every time we say yes to something that doesn't align with our goals, we are, in essence, saying no to something that does. This is where the Stoic practice of negative visualization can be incredibly powerful. By contemplating the things we are willing to forgo for the sake of our higher goals, we gain a clearer perspective on what truly matters. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid, said Epictetus. This quote serves as a reminder that true progress often requires us to step away from the crowd, to reject the distractions that society tells us are important, and to focus instead on our own path. Time management also involves regularly reviewing our progress and adjusting our plans as necessary. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how well we plan, we will inevitably encounter obstacles and setbacks. The key is not to be discouraged by these challenges, but to use them as opportunities to grow. As Seneca wisely observed, difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Each challenge we face in managing our time and our lives is a chance to build our resilience, to refine our strategies, and to reaffirm our commitment to our goals. Time is a finite resource, and how we choose to spend it is one of the most important decisions we will ever make. By focusing on long-term goals, investing in our personal development, and making decisions that align with our life's purpose, we can ensure that we live a life of meaning and fulfillment. As we go about our days, let us keep the wisdom of the Stoics close to our hearts. Let us not waste our time on trivial pursuits, but instead, let us use it wisely to build a life that we will not regret when our time is finally up. As Marcus Aurelius so eloquently put it, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. 9. Integrity and authenticity. There comes a time in life when you look back and wish you'd known then what you know now. As we grow older, we often realize the importance of certain values we might have taken for granted or overlooked in our youth. One such value is integrity, and closely intertwined with it, authenticity. If I could go back and offer advice to my younger self, it would be this: be true to yourself, and don't let others' expectations dictate your actions. Life has a way of trying to pull you in different directions, with societal norms, peer pressure, and the expectations of others often leading you away from your true path. It's easy to lose yourself in the noise of what everyone else wants you to be, but the cost of doing so is immense. When you betray your own values, even in small ways, it chips away at your spirit. Maintaining your integrity in all aspects of life is not just about being honest with others. It's about being honest with yourself. It's about standing firm in your beliefs and actions, even when it's difficult, even when it feels like the world is against you. Consider the story of a young professional, just starting out in the corporate world. Eager to impress, he found himself bending his morals just a little to fit in. He agreed to things he didn't believe in, stayed silent when he should have spoken up, and slowly, without even realizing it, began to lose sight of who he truly was. Years passed, and though he climbed the corporate ladder, he couldn't shake the feeling of emptiness inside. That nagging sense of regret grew louder each day until it was impossible to ignore. He had achieved success, but at what cost? The person he saw in the mirror was a stranger to him. The realization hit him hard. He had sacrificed his authenticity for the sake of others' expectations, and in doing so, he had lost himself. This is the danger of living without integrity and authenticity. It might not seem like a big deal at first, but over time, the compromises you make, the small lies you tell yourself, accumulate. They create a chasm between who you are and who you pretend to be, and eventually, that chasm becomes too wide to bridge without a great deal of pain and effort. But here's the thing: it's never too late to reclaim your integrity. It's never too late to start living authentically. The moment you decide to align your actions with your true self, you begin to close that gap. The first step is the hardest, admitting to yourself that you've strayed, but once you do, the path forward becomes clearer. You start to make decisions based on what feels right to you, not what others expect. You begin to speak your truth, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it means standing alone. And as you do, you'll find that the burden you've been carrying begins to lift. The stress, the regret, the emptiness, they start to fade away, replaced by a sense of peace that comes from knowing you're living in accordance with your values. One of the most profound lessons I've learned, and one I wish I had understood earlier, is the impact of my words and actions on others. Every choice we make, every word we speak, sends ripples into the world. We often don't realize just how far those ripples go. A thoughtless comment can hurt someone deeply, while a kind word can uplift and inspire. The way we treat others is a direct reflection of our integrity. When we act out of alignment with our values, it doesn't just harm us, it harms those around us as well. This is why it's so crucial to be mindful of the impact we have on others. It's not about being perfect, but about striving to do better, to be better, every day. It's about recognizing that our actions have consequences and choosing to act in ways that align with our highest self. In today's world, where social media and societal pressures often push us to present a curated, idealized version of ourselves, it can be incredibly challenging to remain authentic. We're constantly bombarded with images and messages telling us who we should be, how we should look, what we should achieve. It's easy to get caught up in the comparison game, to measure our worth against the highlight reels of others. But this is a trap, and it's one that can lead you far away from your true self. The key to breaking free from this trap is to remember that your value doesn't come from external validation. It comes from within. It comes from knowing that you are enough just as you are, that your worth is not defined by how others see you. but by how you see yourself. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they're not the ones who fit perfectly into society's mold, but the ones who dared to be different, who had the courage to be themselves, even when it wasn't popular. These are the people who inspire us, not because they were perfect, but because they were real. They lived with integrity, they stayed true to themselves, and in doing so, they showed us that it's possible to live a life of meaning and fulfillment without sacrificing who we are. So I ask you, what kind of person do you want to be? Will you be someone who follows the crowd, who bends to the will of others? Or will you be someone who stands firm in their values, who lives with integrity and authenticity? The choice is yours, and it's a choice you make every day, in every decision, in every interaction. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. Because at the end of the day, when you lay your head on your pillow, what matters most is not what others think of you, but what you think of yourself. Can you look in the mirror and say, I am proud of who I am? Can you go to sleep knowing that you lived this day true to your values, that you treated others with kindness and respect, that you were authentic in your words and actions? If the answer is yes, then you're on the right path. And if the answer is no, don't despair. Every day is a new opportunity to choose integrity, to choose authenticity, to choose to be the person you want to be. The lesson here is simple, yet profound. Be true to yourself, and don't let others' expectations dictate your actions. Maintain your integrity in all aspects of life, and be mindful of the impact of your words and actions on others. This is the path to a life of meaning, fulfillment, and peace. It's not always the easiest path, but it is the one that leads to true happiness. So as you move forward in your life, ask yourself, are you living in alignment with your true self? Are you acting with integrity, even when no one is watching? These questions are not always comfortable, but they are necessary if you want to live a life that you can be proud of, a life that is truly your own. 10. Legacy and life purpose. When I think back on my life, there are lessons I wish I had learned sooner, lessons that would have helped me live with greater intention and purpose. One of the most profound lessons is about legacy and life purpose. You see, when we talk about legacy, it's easy to think of it as something grand, like a statue in a park or a name etched in history books. But legacy isn't always about fame or monumental achievements. It's more about the small, everyday actions that define who we are and how we're remembered. Your legacy is carved out not by the material wealth you accumulate or the accolades you receive, but by the kindness you show to others, the way you make people feel, and the positive impact you have on the world. How often do we consider the footprint we're leaving behind? Are we living in a way that uplifts others, or are we so caught up in our own ambitions that we forget the value of compassion, empathy, and generosity? Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "What we do now echoes in eternity." This quote has always resonated with me because it highlights the importance of our daily actions. Every decision we make, every word we speak, has the potential to ripple through time, affecting not only our lives but the lives of those around us. So ask yourself, what kind of echo do you want to leave behind? Are you living with a purpose that transcends your own needs and desires? It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life, chasing after success, wealth, and recognition. But what if we shifted our focus towards creating a legacy of love, kindness, and service? Imagine a world where everyone prioritized these values. How different would our interactions be? Living with purpose is about more than just setting goals and achieving them. It's about aligning your actions with your values and understanding that your life has a greater meaning beyond the immediate. The Stoics teach us that purpose is not found in the pursuit of external success, but in the way we live each day with integrity, courage, and wisdom. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, reminds us that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This is a powerful reminder that purpose is often found not in accumulation, but in simplicity and gratitude. Are we grateful for the little things in life? Do we appreciate the warmth of the sun on our skin, the laughter of a friend, or the quiet moments of solitude? These seemingly insignificant moments are the threads that weave together the fabric of our lives, and yet we often overlook them in our pursuit of something bigger, something better. But what if those little moments were the very essence of a purposeful life? Consider this. How often do we take the time to reflect on the impact we're having on others? Do we pause to consider how our words and actions affect those around us? It's easy to forget that our interactions, however small, can leave lasting impressions. Seneca, one of the most well-known Stoics, said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." This quote underscores the importance of quality over quantity, not just in how we live our lives, but in how we connect with others. Are our interactions meaningful? Are we leaving people better than we found them? It's not about being perfect. It's about striving to be better, to do better, and to live with a purpose that elevates others. Living with purpose also means embracing the idea that our time is finite. The Stoics often remind us of the brevity of life, a concept known as memento mori. Remember that you will die. While this might sound morbid, it's actually a call to live fully and intentionally. How would you live if you knew your time was limited? What would you prioritize? It's a sobering thought, but one that can inspire us to live more purposefully. Would you spend more time with loved ones? Would you take more risks, follow your passions, or simply slow down to appreciate the beauty of the world around you? The legacy we leave is built on the foundation of how we choose to spend our time. Are we building something worthwhile? Something that will stand the test of time? Another crucial aspect of living with purpose is the pursuit of self-improvement and growth. The Stoics believed that we are here to become the best versions of ourselves, not for our own sake, but so that we can contribute more fully to the world. What steps are you taking to become the person you want to be? Are you cultivating virtues like patience, humility, and resilience? Are you challenging yourself to learn, to grow, and to become more than you were yesterday? Growth doesn't always come from comfort. It often comes from facing challenges head-on, from pushing ourselves beyond our perceived limits. What challenges have you faced, and how have they shaped your legacy? Have you allowed difficulties to make you bitter, or have you used them as opportunities to build character and strength? In the end, your legacy is a reflection of your life's purpose. It's the sum total of the choices you make, the values you hold, and the way you treat others. It's about living in a way that, when you look back, you can do so with a sense of peace and satisfaction, knowing that you lived authentically, courageously, and with a heart full of gratitude. As you go about your day, I encourage you to ask yourself, what kind of legacy am I building? Am I living with purpose, or am I merely going through the motions? How can I begin to live more intentionally, with a focus on leaving the world a little better than I found it? Remember, your legacy is not just about the big moments. It's about the everyday choices that define who you are. It's about living with purpose, being grateful for the little things, and striving to leave a positive mark on those around you. Because in the end, it's not the grand gestures or the accolades that matter most. It's the way you lived your life, the love you shared, and the impact you had on others. So what legacy will you leave behind? As we reflect on these profound life lessons, it's important to remember that the power to shape our future lies within the decisions and actions we choose to take today. The past may be unchangeable, but the future is still within your grasp. By embracing the principles of Stoicism, you can find the strength and clarity to live each day with purpose, resilience, and gratitude. Life is fleeting, and each moment is precious. It's easy to get caught up in the opinions of others or to dwell on missed opportunities, but Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our responses to the world around us. Imagine how different your life could be if you lived with your eyes wide open, fully present and aware, appreciating the little things that others might overlook. Picture yourself at peace, no longer burdened by the fear of judgment, but instead motivated by your own values and principles. The time will pass whether you act or not, So why not start today? Begin by planning for the future you desire, by being patient with yourself, and by understanding that your presence here is no accident. You have a purpose, even if it's not clear to you yet. I encourage you to take these insights and apply them to your life. What changes will you make today to ensure that your future self looks back with no regrets? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this journey of growth and discovery together. If you found value in this video, please like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life, so that we can keep exploring these timeless truths together. Remember, the journey to a more fulfilled life starts now. Take that first step.